Is happiness a delusion? Find meaning in your pain. How have you been taught about happiness in this life? Surely it's been painted with sparkling images, radiant smiles, and moments free from worries. Happiness, in the minds of many, is the absence of suffering, a paradise without shadows. A sweet lie, an eternal illusion, has been ingrained into the collective consciousness. We've been instilled with the belief that the ultimate purpose of existence is to avoid all sorrow, every challenge, every single scratch on life's journey. A life without upheaval, without tragedy, without even a single silent tear. That's the promise. A terrifying arrangement. Look at what you're striving for. Maximum comfort, constant ease, a state of tranquil stillness where every sharp edge of life has been smoothed away, rendered harmless. You flee from pain as if it were a plague. You believe that whenever pain knocks, it's a sign of failure, proof that you're on the wrong path, lost from the preordained road to happiness. But what if pain isn't the enemy? Not a punishment, but a messenger, a signal, an invitation, a challenge for you to grow. What if the absence of suffering is precisely the proof that you haven't truly lived, haven't touched the depths of your potential? Life isn't a plush armchair where you can recline and passively wait for good things to arrive. Life is a ceaseless battle, an eternal struggle with yourself and with the world. And in that battle, the greatest enemy isn't external adversity, isn't objective difficulties, but the cowardice within you, the cowardice in confronting yourself, your limits, and the wounds life bestows. You've been lulled to sleep by a false dream, a weak philosophy that has turned you into docile sheep, merely seeking green pastures, oblivious that only storms forge an unyielding will and truly shape a human being. You want happiness? Then stop seeking ease. Happiness isn't a warm, vague, fleeting feeling. It's a state of being, a powerful affirmation of will, an explosion of vitality. It's the result of facing the abyss and not crumbling, but even rising from it. It's the glory of standing up after every fall, with your scars as badges of honor, each scar telling a story of triumph, of a quiet but profound victory. The fallacy of pain's absence, the curse of trivial comfort. Modern society has created a dangerous illusion of a flawless life. From dazzling advertisements that paint pictures of wealth and convenience, to carefully curated social media posts that showcase only the most perfect aspects of life, everything idealizes existence. A world where everyone smiles, every problem is quickly solved, every negative emotion is eliminated or cleverly hidden. You get caught in an endless cycle of comparison, self-doubt, and a yearning for a life like others, a life that, in reality, doesn't exist. But the truth is, life isn't a meticulously produced film, a play with perfect performances. Life is a symphony filled with deep, resonant low notes, explosive high points, and even terrifying silences that demand contemplation. You seek peace, a state of undisturbed tranquility, but you mistake true peace for paralysis, for apathy. True peace isn't the absence of storms, not avoiding every tempest, but the ability to ride the fiercest waves without being submerged, an inner steadfastness when facing chaos. You're encouraged to hide your weaknesses, your secret fears, your imperfect aspects. You're taught to always appear strong, positive, never revealing vulnerability or frailty. This creates a false shell, a mental prison where you cannot truly be yourself, cannot accept your whole being. Authenticity is sacrificed for an ideal, empty image. Pain, failure, loss. These aren't enemies you must avoid at all costs, not curses or fatal errors. They are sharp tools, harsh but fair teachers, uncompromising tests that life sets before you. They are refining fires, burning away weaknesses, false illusions, baseless fears within you. Without physical pain, you wouldn't know your body's limits of endurance. Without professional failure, you would never learn to analyze mistakes, adjust strategies, and become more resilient in your career. Without the loss of loved ones, you would never understand the true value of love, of present moments, of life's fragile nature. Are you afraid of loneliness? Loneliness isn't a curse, a punishment, but a golden opportunity to face yourself, to listen to the deepest voice within your soul, to discover unexploited inner treasures. Are you afraid of rejection? Rejection isn't an end, a slammed door, but a door opening to new paths, new opportunities to redefine yourself, to seek more suitable, more authentic directions. This world has become too soft, too afraid of anything rough, anything imperfect, anything that might cause harm. We build protective walls against all discomfort, all conflict, all dissenting opinions, all disagreements. We seek consensus, smoothness, ease in every relationship, every social interaction. But it is precisely in friction, in the rubbing of ideas and wills, in confronting the undesirable, that human beings are truly forged. A block of steel cannot become a sharp blade if it doesn't go through fire and hammer, isn't tempered in extreme heat. A soul cannot become resilient, cannot fully develop its potential if it doesn't face harsh challenges, the pressures of life. You are deceived into believing that happiness is a static state, a destination where, once reached, all suffering will eternally cease. But life is a constant flow, continuous transformation, an unending dance of experiences. Happiness is not a stop, a fixed state, but the energy you generate when overcoming an obstacle, the exhilaration you feel when you sense your strength in battle, the proud joy when you yourself create value. It is an explosion of will, a powerful affirmation that you can endure, you can overcome, you can create great things. The power of will and the affirmation of life. The eternal will to power. The philosophy of those who seek ease is the philosophy of the weak, of those ready to submit to fate and circumstance. It encourages passivity, resignation to what happens, avoidance of personal responsibility for one's life. It turns you into a victim of circumstance, a passive bystander in the current of life, instead of the architect of your own destiny, the active shaper of your future. But you, a human being with infinite potential, with a powerful inner will, were not born to be a victim. You were born to be a warrior, a creator, an artist of your own life. You cannot find deep meaning in life by avoiding its most difficult and dark aspects. Meaning is forged through continuous struggle, through overcoming limits, through affirming life in all circumstances, no matter how dark, no matter how painful. It is when you accept the harsh truth that this life owes you nothing, has no obligation to bring you comfort or peace. It owes you no happiness, no eternal tranquility, no absolute fairness. All these things you must create yourself. Win yourself through unwavering will and ceaseless effort. Consider those who have truly lived a full life, those who have achieved greatness and left their mark on the world. They were not people who avoided all troubles, all difficulties, or all failures. On the contrary, they were people who faced the greatest challenges, the deepest losses, and found meaning, even strength, in those very experiences. A great artist does not create masterpieces from leisure, from relaxed afternoon teas, but from sleepless nights wrestling with ideas, from repeated failures trying to express their vision, from the pain of creation when confronting emptiness and doubt. A great scientist does not discover truth from comfort in the laboratory, but from countless failed experiments, from persistent doubts, from unwavering perseverance in the face of all obstacles and deprivations. You have the power to choose how you react to pain, to adversity. You can let it drown you, turning you into a defeated person, a victim of cruel fate. Or you can transform it into fuel, into a powerful driving force for you to rise, to become stronger, wiser, and more meaningful in your existence. This requires immense courage, a powerful affirmation of the will to live, an ironclad belief in yourself. The will to power, according to this philosophy, is not about dominating others, not about ambition for political or material power. Rather, it is about self-mastery, control over one's instincts, overcoming the limits you set for yourself or those imposed by society. It is the ceaseless yearning to become greater, to evolve, to self-create value for your life, to surpass your past self. When you face pain, you are exercising your will to power. You are transforming weakness into strength, helplessness into will, endurance into resilience. You are tempted by security, by stability, by a guaranteed life. But security, when pursued to its extreme, is a gilded cage. It may protect you from danger, from external risks, but it also imprisons you from growth, from the essential experiences needed for you to become great. Only when you dare to step out of that cage, dare to face uncertainty, risks, the unknown, can you truly discover your infinite potential. A mountain cannot be conquered if you only stand at its base and dream of the summit. You must climb, step by step, facing the biting wind, treacherous cliffs, physical exhaustion, and psychological fear. And it is precisely in that process that you truly become great, truly feel the happiness of liberation. Amor fati, loving your destiny, absolute affirmation and recreation. This is a profound philosophy named amor fati, love your destiny. It is not passive acceptance of fate, not resignation to what happens as a victim. On the contrary, it is a positive affirmation, a radical and complete acceptance of every aspect of life, including pain, failures, tragedies, and inevitable losses. It is about looking at everything that has happened in your life, good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant, joy or despair, and saying forcefully, "Yes, I accept it all. I want nothing to be different. I love everything that has made me who I am, everything that has shaped me today." Imagine you face a tremendous loss, an irreversible tragedy. You could drown in despair, in infinite regret for what is past. Or you could tell yourself, "This is a part of my life. It has made me who I am today. I will transform this pain into strength, into a deeper understanding of the world, of the fragile yet precious nature of existence." That is not self-deception, not a denial of reality, but an act of will, a conscious choice to turn pain into a tool for growth, to become greater, to find meaning in the very wounds themselves. The more you flee from pain, the more pain clings to you, becoming an incessant, haunting ghost. The more you resist it, the more power it gains to destroy you, dragging you into the abyss of despair. Only when you face it directly, when you accept it as an indispensable part of life, when you immerse yourself in it, can you overcome it. Can you transform it into a resource? Amor fati is the greatest challenge to the weak philosophy of comfort, of mediocrity. It demands that you look at your scars not with regret, not with shame, but with pride, with appreciation. Each scar is a story of survival, of unbreakable resilience, of a battle you have fought and won. It is powerful evidence that you have dared to live, dared to feel every emotional spectrum, dared to face the harshest things life has thrown at you. The eternal recurrence, another core concept of the philosopher, is also an invitation for you to live your life as fully and meaningfully as possible. Imagine that every decision, every action, every moment in your life, no matter how trivial, will be repeated countless times, eternally. Would you want to relive those moments? Would you want to repeat your choices, both the right ones and the mistakes? If the answer is no, if you feel regret or wish to change, then you are living a life unworthy of yourself, a life that has not reached the peak of will. Only when you can look at your life, with all its suffering and glory, with all its failures and successes, and say sincerely, yes, I want to relive it all. I accept and cherish it all. Only then do you truly achieve authentic happiness. A happiness not based on avoidance, but on affirmation, on absolute acceptance. The path to true happiness. Building the overman within you. True happiness is not a final destination, a static state you reach and then passively enjoy. Instead, it is a continuous journey, a process of constant creation and self-overcoming. It is not the absence of problems, not the lack of difficulties, but the ability to confront problems and find meaning, even joy, in the very struggle. This is the path you must walk, a rugged, treacherous road, not for the weak or those who seek ease. 1. Embrace pain as an invitation to growth. Don't run from pain. Don't avoid it as an enemy. Feel it completely. Allow yourself to experience uncomfortable emotions, painful sensations to their fullest extent. Pain is a signal, a reminder that you are alive, that you are feeling, that you are deeply existing. Accepting pain is the first step to overcoming it, to transforming it into an indispensable part of your development and evolution. When an artist faces a creative block, that pain isn't a sign of failure or lack of ideas. It's an invitation to seek a new path, a more unique and profound way of expression, breaking free from old limitations. 2. Seek meaning in suffering, inner transformation. After feeling the pain, delve deeper into it, seeking the meaning embedded in each painful experience. Every suffering experience contains a valuable lesson, an opportunity for you to develop yourself profoundly. A career setback can teach you humility, the necessity of continuous learning and unwavering perseverance. A great loss can help you appreciate what you have, realize the fleeting nature of all material things, and turn towards more enduring spiritual values. An ultimate difficult challenge can reveal your hidden strength, an ability to endure and overcome that you never knew you possessed. Consider a scientist. They might spend years researching a complex problem, facing countless experimental failures and skepticism from the community. But it is precisely in those repeated failures that they find new clues, deeper insights into the nature of the universe, leading to groundbreaking discoveries that change history. 3. Affirm the will to live. Superior inner strength. Affirm your will to live regardless of external circumstances. Whatever devastating things life throws at you, no matter how seemingly insurmountable the adversities you face, resolve to stand firm, resolve to keep moving forward, never retreating. This is when you demonstrate your inner strength, unbreakable resilience, your ability to self-determine your destiny, turning negative elements into motivation. An athlete facing a severe injury at risk of ending their career doesn't collapse in despair. Instead, They transform physical and mental pain into motivation for recovery, to train even more rigorously, to return stronger, proving that the human will cannot be broken. 4. Transcend your limits. The Great Rebirth. Pain often arises when you are pushed out of your comfort zone, when you must confront the unknown. It is not a punishment, but a golden opportunity for you to transcend your own limits, to discover things you never thought you could do. You truly grow and develop only when you dare to face challenges greater than yourself, mountains higher than your current capabilities. Someone who faces their greatest fear, perhaps the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of public self-expression, or even the fear of death, and overcomes it, will become an entirely new person, stronger, freer, and more capable of living fully than ever before. This rebirth comes from daring to confront the darkness. 5. Create value. The highest manifestation of life and happiness. True happiness does not come from consumption, not from accumulating material possessions or fleeting pleasures. Instead, it comes from creating, from building. When you create something, whether it's a work of art, a solution to a social problem, a new business, or sincere help for others, you are affirming your existence. You are bringing profound meaning to your life. You are leaving your mark on the world. Creation is the highest expression of the will to live, the way you leave your imprint on the world, the way you rise above mediocrity and become a creator, a value giver. An architect not only builds structures of brick and mortar, but also creates living spaces, symbols of human creativity and will, bringing beauty and function to life. You don't need an easy life. An easy life is often a shallow life, without depth. You need a meaningful life, a life worth living, worth fighting for. And that meaning can only be found in continuous struggle, in overcoming obstacles, in the strongest affirmation of your will to live, of your unique self. The scars on your soul are not signs of weakness, not dark spots to be hidden, but a map leading to growth, powerful evidence of a life lived fully, with all its ups and downs and tragedies. You've been promised a paradise without thorns, a promised land of eternal comfort. That is a lie, a dangerous illusion. The true paradise isn't a place without shadows, but lies in your ability to turn thorns into flowers, pain into strength, darkness into light. It's when you realize that happiness isn't the absence of shadows, but the ability to dance in the darkness. The light you create from the very depths of your soul, from your most painful experiences. This life is not a simple problem to solve, not a puzzle with only one answer. Instead, it is a complex piece of music to play, with all the soaring high notes of joy and the deep, resonant low notes of sorrow, of loss. Don't seek artificial harmony and engineered balance. Instead, seek harmony in the very contrasts, in the blending of light and shadow. Don't avoid the sad melodies, the melancholic passages, for they are an indispensable part, even the most crucial part, of your life's symphony. You can choose to live a life of ease, of security, of avoiding all conflict and difficulty. But that will be a trivial life, a life without depth, a life you will regret when you look back in your final years. Or you can choose to live a life of ceaseless struggle, of self-transcendence, of powerful affirmation of your will and yourself. That will be a life full of challenges, full of pain, full of thorns, but also full of glory, full of meaning, a life you will be proud to say you lived fully, without a single regret. Break the chains of old, weak notions of happiness. Cast off the illusions of a life without suffering, a life excessively sheltered. Confront the abyss of fear and weakness directly, and find explosive strength in that very confrontation. Turn pain into your teacher, your most powerful motivator, your endless source of inspiration for your greatness, for your continuous self-development. Rise up, fight, affirm yourself, affirm every breath, every step on this journey. And let pain be your greatest teacher, the guide that leads you to new heights of awareness and strength. This life awaits greatness from you, not false peace or comfortable mediocrity.